Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of First Pitch. As always, I'm your host, Braxton Wheeler. Joined with me is Head Coach Ryan Brittle and my assistant host here, Brandon Roberts. Sorry we couldn't get to you Tuesday. We just moved it back to Thursday, which works out because we had a game last night as well. Anyway, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about this weekend versus Bridgewater. Let's talk about it quick, as quick as we want to. But anyway, the first game we lost 6-3. We started Joey Pride. Nathaniel Anthony had 2 hits. Josh Greenway had 2 hits, and Kyle Anstis had 2 hits. Joey was 4-0 up to this point. He got his first loss, but he went 6.2 innings pitched. He's always going to keep us in the game. He's an innings eater. He's definitely our team's innings eater. That man could tear up some innings. And anyway, we can just talk about this game, Coach, if you want, or the whole weekend, however you want to do it.
Sure. Joey did a good job. Joey's the kind of guy that's going to throw strikes, and things are going to happen quickly. He's either going to give up hits or get outs quick. And like he said, he kept us in the game for 6 2/3, and it was a 5-2 ball game when he came out with a runner on third base, and I felt like we still had an opportunity. Oh, we did still have an opportunity to win the game. It was the 7th inning. We had 3 at-bats left, and so we brought Will in, who's pretty much our stopper, and Will came in and did a good job for us, and we weren't able to scratch ourselves back ahead before the game ended, but we gave ourselves a chance to win and moved into the second game. We've had Colby Grissom's kind of been in and out of the starting rotation. He pitched last week against Eastern Mennonite. He pitched an inning and had to come out, and then couldn't pitch again this week. But so Mitch Custer started for us on the mound, and Mitch gave up a ton of hits but kept us in the game. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, and we took a lead in the second game, I think 7-5, and then our bullpen didn't pitch as well as we'd hoped, but we still had the winning run at the plate twice, I think, at the end of the game in the 8th and 9th innings, and just wasn't able to get ourselves back on top. Anytime you lose 2 games at home in a conference series is not good, but we did bounce back yesterday. We had a really good performance yesterday from Drew Callahan on the mound, 8 innings, 4 hits, no runs. I think 4 strikeouts. So Drew's been doing a really good job for us on the bump, and he actually won the darn game by himself. He 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. So Drew was a one-man wrecking crew yesterday, along with some other guys had some good days too. But so anyway, beat Emory and Henry on the road yesterday. Anytime you get a road win, it's huge, and we got another ball game today against team out of New York, Brockport. It's going to be a solid club coming in here and see what we can get done against them.
That's right.
Coach B, I don't mean to, go back and keep staying on the topic, but you had mentioned that, Colby Grissom wasn't able to pitch. We found out a little earlier in the week that he probably wasn't going to be able to throw. What was the thought process in having, Joey Pride start game 1, having Will Davis come out of the pen, we're down by 3, and then having Mitch start game 2? Why didn't Joey, stick to his routine, starting game 2, watch all of game 1, get to sit by Coach Kent, do his whole process, and then come out game 2 and start? What was the thought process behind that?
Good question. My brothers asked me that question.
Yeah.
Joey was just our best arm available at the time. And typically it was a little it ended up being we were just a little off, and maybe that was part of it, because we had CC behind the plate. Not that we don't want CC behind the plate, but Tim didn't catch the first game. Tim DH'd, so we didn't really have our best defense on the field for the first game of the series, but because CC always catches Joey, and he does a pretty good job of catching Joey. But it's a good question and fair criticism, for why we brought Will Davis out of the bullpen in the first game. And my thoughts were, we were still in the game. I felt if we held it right there to 5-2, we had a really good chance of winning the game. And 2, if you hold a guy like Will Davis when you have an opportunity to win the game, In the second game, there's no guarantee that you're going to need him.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up that we could have used him in the second game, right? In fact, if we didn't pitch Will in the first game, we probably would have won the second game, right? So all fair criticisms and things that those are the things that you hear and wear it as a head coach when you have to make decisions like that. So if I had to do it over again, I might have done it a little differently, but hindsight's 20/20, and we learn from it, move on from it, and try and do better the next time.
That's right. Yeah, each week I like to mention someone on our team and what they mean to our team, and let's talk about Joey a little bit here. Joey's since I said Joey's an innings eater guy, you can't just eat innings every single weekend if you don't do your off the field work as hard as possible. And I tell Joey this all the time. I tell the younger guys, Carlton, Red. I tell all these starting guys that want to, throughout their 4 years, throw a lot of innings. I always say that you got to look up to Joey in the way he does his running. If you watch Joey, he might not be the fastest runner in the world, but he definitely does his running hard as possible. He's always in the weight room never misses a rep. He's always doing what he needs to do to be ready to pitch. And I always tell the younger guys that, and I just think it's important that the people to know the hard work that Joey puts in each week to be able to pitch on a regular basis. So Joey's he's a important guy for our team, and he always has been. He's a really good pitcher. So anyway, Coach, I think it's a good time to ask a question on recruiting, which is crazy because we won't see we might see him because we have to be here an extra semester for school, but we won't be playing baseball with these recruits. But Coach, how's recruiting going so far for the team?
So I think it's going really well. I think we have 13 commitments at this point. Maybe 9 or 10 guys that have paid a deposit, which means they have basically committed financially to come to school here. We've got some really good local guys. There's a young man that's a local kid that's a right-handed pitcher that was up to 88 or 89 this past summer. Going to be a pretty good arm for us. We've kind of focused in on the middle of our field. We feel like we need to bolster the middle of our infield. We have 2 senior middle infielders that start this year, Jake Martin and Nate Anthony. Also, Kyle Anstis is a junior, so he's got 1 more year in the program next year, and then he'll be gone. So we have 4 or 5 middle infielders coming in this recruiting class, and hopefully those guys can fill some big shoes along with the guys that we have in the program already. Mumpower's getting some time on the field and doing a good job, and what a hard worker he is. But the recruiting class is coming together. There's still maybe 4 or 5 guys out there that we really like to get, and we'll be traveling to see them play here pretty soon and see if we can get them nailed down to become Panthers and see how the recruiting class finishes out. But we as always, we're excited and hopeful for this incoming class. Good group of kids, good group of students. I think our students have gotten better academically as we've moved into the ODAC. I think that's helped us a ton, and certainly the local players here in the state of Virginia recognize the ODAC more proficiently than they do the USA South. They know the teams that they're going to be playing against, and their parents can come and watch pretty much all the games. So I saw B-Rob's mom at the game yesterday. She was at Emory and Henry to watch the ball game. So it's great that our players' families can get there to games now instead of traveling to LaGrange, Georgia, or Demarest, Georgia, the 6, 7, 8 hours away to try and watch a ball game.
The conference tournament was like 12 hours away, and now, depending on where we go first, it's crazy.
Fun bus rides though.
It was fun.
But bus rides are fun for about 3 or 4 hours, and then it's like holy moly, let's get this over with.
That's why you bring the TV and the game console.
See, here's how things change, and for all the alumni out there who went on so many bus trips, things have changed so much, because it used to be that we would go down to the local video store and get VHS movies to stick in the VCR to play movies on the bus, and then it turned into DVDs. So you go get a bunch of DVDs from Redbox, stick those in the DVD player to watch movies, and now You don't even turn the TV on because everybody's got their phone, or you bring a little TV or a computer and everybody watches their own movie by themselves. So it's changed tremendously over the last few years.
I even think my freshman year when I went to the conference tournament, we were going to Fayetteville, and we actually still did the DVD things. We took a vote, and now 4 years, maybe the last 2 or 3 years, it's not even a thing. So
no, we don't even put the TVs down.
No, I didn't even think about that.
We don't even put it down.
Wow, yeah, it's crazy.
Everybody watches their own personal device.
And it's very quiet.
They're even in the back of the bus with the video games.
Got the whole TV.
The video games, video games, playing Fortnite against somebody on the other side of the country.
We're guilty of that.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. Let's. So you say we got a game today versus a team from New York, Brockport. It's at 3 p.m. And as well, we head to Lynchburg for another big conference series this weekend. I believe games are at 12 and 3 p.m. Anything about Lynchburg?
Yeah, so Lynchburg's going to be a well-coached team. They're young. I'm sure they're going to have a ton of enthusiasm. Last weekend they beat Eastern Mennonite twice.
As a D3 pitcher of the week.
They did. Hunter Campbell was the D3 pitcher of the week. Congratulations, Hunter. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to be, anytime you play an ODAC team on the road, it's going to be tough. And you're going to have to play really good baseball to win the ball game. So we look forward to going into Lynchburg this weekend and seeing what we can do. And but first we got business to handle this afternoon against Brockport at home at 3 o'clock. It rained last night. I had no idea it was supposed to rain last night, but it rained last night, and I got to go check on the field. But I'm sure we got 40 bags of turf sitting out there in the parking lot. So
we've played a lot worse.
We have played them worse. So we should be fine, and we don't know a whole lot about Brockport, and they probably don't know a whole lot about us. So be one of those old-fashioned, just lace them up and play ball and see what you can do against a quality team coming in here.
Sounds good to me. You got anything else?
No, sir.
All right. So, yeah, that's right. Come out today, watch us play at 3 p.m. And if you can get out to Lynchburg, it's pretty close to around here. So come out, watch us play Lynchburg this weekend. That is all I have. I will see you guys next week. Thank you.